Hello everybody, welcome back once again. I've got another triangle strategy character guide for you. This time we are talking Avlora, the great general. She is insane, of course. Toughest character in the game to get. There are some very specific requirements. So if you choose to defend Roland in, I think it's chapter 7, you cannot burn the Wolfort, any of the Wolfort houses using the Hawk statuettes. So keep that in mind. If you choose to hand over Roland to Azfrost, you don't have to worry about that requirement, right? Because you won't fight the battle there. But again, if you choose to defend him, do not use any of the traps to burn the houses. The next choice is in Chapter 11. You have to choose to defend the Roselle. Do not send them to Hyzant. And then in Chapter 15, you need to choose to go back to Wolfort. Also, I should say there's one more. I'm sorry, I missed one choice. Chapter 9 is you have to choose, and this is before the Roselle decision. In Chapter 9, you have to choose to transport Sorslay's illicit salt, and that will lead you to Azfrost and a conversation with Svarog. And at that point, you have to reveal Roland's identity to Svarog. Then Chapter 11 is the Roselle, I guess, defense chapter, right? Again, choose to side with the Roselle and do not send them to Hyzant. Then Chapter 15, return to Wolfort with Benedict. And that locks you into the Golden Route. There are a couple of more choices in Chapter 17 you have to make, and then Avlora will join you. So, very, very specific in how you get Avlora, but if you're familiar with how the game is played, then it'll be pretty easy. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about her stats, her accessories, and we'll work on the skills after that. So it says, I've equipped her with a speed bracelet. So it says increases speed by 3 and grants immunity to immobility. She has a base speed of 26, which is slightly above average. Nothing too fancy, but again, she's a little bit faster than the average character. Then I've got her equipped with the red scarf. So this is recover HP when you defeat an enemy. I think this works so well on her. Avlora is a monster, and she will be making tons of killing blows. And the fact that she can restore health then after she's done a kill shot works really well with her risky maneuver. This says decreases your HP by 15% of your max HP to deal physical damage to a single enemy. You cannot use this if your HP is below 15%. This hits hard, extremely, extremely hard. You do have that HP. You have to, basically you lose HP to use this. But it is well worth it, and especially when you pair it up with a red scarf. You will actually still heal yourself if you are able to kill the enemy using risky maneuver. So you'll come out ahead. Strength is 56, very, very solid. She's, like I said, she's a bit of a monster, and that's also because her weapon and her abilities deal so much damage. But yeah, very, very strong character. Physical defense above average, 58. Not quite tank levels of defense, but again, above average. Same with actually her magic attack. Her magic attack is surprisingly high. She is a bruiser, so maybe it makes a little bit of sense to have her, magic attack a little bit elevated, but her magic attack actually is pretty impressive. Magic defense slightly below average there at a 47. Again, not horrible, but slightly below a lot of the more like mid-range characters. Again, the midpoint is really 50, right? So just slightly below that. But luck is 40, so she's pretty lucky. She'll be getting crits a lot. Accuracy is 60. That's solid. She rarely misses. Some characters like rogues, maybe a little bit more difficult for her to hit, but she does fairly well. Again, the speed is 26, slightly above average. Evasion 57. That's pretty solid. She's nowhere near like a Groma or Milo, Anna, or Piccoletta, but still decent, slightly above average. so every once in a while you'll get a lucky dodge with her. Her jump is 2, that's completely standard. Movement is 5, that's pretty standard as well. Alright, so let's move on to her abilities. So she's got Desperate Strike as her first passive. It says deal greater damage when at 50% or less of your maximum HP. You know, how great is it, right? Where you've lost a lot of HP and you actually get a significant damage reduction than when you're below 50%, you know. So, you know, it would be great to just always have, you know, an amazing damage reduction, but hey, once she falls below half, that triggers. Risky Maneuver. Again, this ability is amazing. This is probably the skill that I use with her the most. Take a look at that. No TP cost. But, you know, again, she has the cost to her HP total, right? But again, with that red scarf, that'll keep her very, very healthy as long as you're actually killing things. No Escape. I very rarely use this because Risky Maneuver is kind of my go-to. But it says deal physical damage to enemies across 3 horizontal squares and lower their evasion and movement for 3 turns. Now, you could use this to set up some really good follow-ups. Again, if you've got kind of like a tank line set up and you know, enemies have kind of, you know, squared themselves up against your characters, you could then sneak behind them and use No Escape on them to trigger, you know, multiple follow-up attacks. But I don't really use this that much. You know, the lowered evasion and movement, okay, you know. I mean, this would be significantly better if this was like a delay, right? Kind of like Travis, but then, you know, Travis wouldn't really have a unique move then, would he? Next up is Desperate Defense. Whoops, I messed up. Desperate Strike, you deal greater physical damage at 50% or less of your maximum HP. I was actually, when I was going over that, I was talking about Desperate Defense. They're very, very similar, right? When you drop below 50%, Desperate Defense kicks in, you take less damage. Desperate Strike, though, you do more damage. So, you know, she definitely kind of wants to be slightly below half health, right? So that she's dealing more damage, but also taking less damage. You have to be careful, right? You don't want to get too low and then get nuked down by a mage or take too many hits and get wrecked. But again, she really kind of wants to be slightly below 50% health so that she's, you know, really dishing it out. Spare No Effort. I kind of use this every once in a while. Generally speaking, it's kind of decent right, you know, before enemies have made it to you. You can buff yourself up. So it says raise your strength and evasion, but lower your physical defense for 3 turns. You know, the little bit of a defense trade-off is probably worth it for, you know, potentially giving yourself, you know, a bit more damage, maybe being able to do just a little bit more to do some more kill shots and get that HP recovery with the red scarf. But also, you know, it does increase the evasion. I imagine it's probably not very much. I'll have to try to check if I remember. But and then Prevail and Power Up. So increases your strength for 3 turns when you defeat an enemy. So she just becomes kind of a snowball, right? Where once you've killed something, then her strength gets you know, catapulted even farther, and she can just kind of keep it up and you know, really keep doing some, and hopefully you can keep getting killing blows, right? To keep this buff up. Amazing. Now here's where she gets pretty broken, honestly. So this is Lone Wolf. Increase your stats. The fewer units you have on the field, the greater the boost. So, you know, I honestly, I never really played, well, there's a couple of levels, I take that back. There were a couple of levels where I didn't deploy all of the units that I could, and sometimes that's just because, like, you stay split up, right? Or you start split up where some of your enemies your allies are in one area, and a bunch of them are in the, or a bunch of allies are in another area, but there isn't enough room in one or the other. And so in instances like that, it's not so bad to take Avlora instead, and then maybe instead of, you know, having an extra 2 units, you just go with 2 fewer, and then Avlora just is more powerful because of her stats. This really is insane, and I'll kind of show you exactly why it's kind of crazy. And then her weapon skill, Bloody Cross. This is amazing. I absolutely love this skill. The range is really good, 1 to 3, and it's a cross pattern with Avlora at the center. Very, very strong, and then also it's got a knockback as well, which has some really fun uses, especially if you're, you know, up high, if you're, you know, at the edge of a canyon or something, you can knock people in, or kind of like the bridge level, right, where you can knock enemies down to the bottom so that they're taking falling damage. But very, very great, very great skill. I really like this one. But all right, so let's go into this this mock battle. I'm actually kind of kicking around doing a video of solo of Avlora here on. This one's going to be a long trek. Let's go in here and yeah, we'll see Avlora solo. So I'm going to remove all these other characters so that we can trigger the stat increases from Lone Wolf, and I'll just show you. She gets pretty nuts here. Let's actually move her over here. Not that it probably matters that much. But all right, long trek.
I will crush you.
All right, so now her stats are going to look crazy, right? Because they are. I actually haven't done the math on this. I don't remember what her base strength was, but I want to say around 20. I know she was at 50 something. So maybe not quite 20, maybe like a 15 or something like that, but a decent boost to her strength. She's at now 73 physical defense, 47 magic attack, 59, you know, magic defense, 51 luck. But look at that speed, 52. That is crazy. So, and her evasion is pretty raised as well. But her speed, you know, again, she has a base speed of 26. So that's basically double her base speed, although I do have the speed bracelet, so it's not quite double. But right, so I mean her base speed actually right now would be a 49. But yeah, so she's going to be insanely fast. All right, so I'm just going to move her up here right away, and you'll be able to see here how crazy it is. So okay, a couple of people have got their turns, and she's about ready to get her next turn.
Flee while you have the chance.
I'm going to use Bloody Cross right here to knock this guy down. Flap.
My turn.
And what do you know? It's her turn again already. I'm going to block the ladder so that this guy can't get up. I'm actually just going to use a risky maneuver here. I should have turned my back to the ladder, but I think we'll be alright here.
You will not
So
get the best of me.
Crit me. There you have it. So I'm going to use a risky maneuver here, and it's going to kill this guy. So it cost her 142 HP, but she restored 190. So again, she came out just slightly ahead by killing that guy.
You will
and
not
what do you
get
know?
the best
It's
of me.
Avlora's turn again. I'm actually just going to back up here, do a
Must be prepared.
little HP item. Who cares, right? I won't keep playing this, but I just wanted to show you how absurd this is.
Not bad.
Yeah, so I don't even need to use risky maneuver here to kill this guy. And actually what I'll do instead is just use a Bloody Cross.
I am finished.
Kill the guy behind me and yeah, push the rogue out. But yeah, so you kind of get the idea, I feel like, right? As far as combos and stuff with Avlora, you know, again, aside from her no escape, being able to set up a lot of, you know, follow-ups with your other characters, there isn't that much for combos with her, right? Cordelia works really good with her, which is kind of appropriate from like a storyline standpoint, because Cordelia's got regen, right? So regen, even if you don't have the red cape on her, regen would keep her pretty healthy as far as you know, restoring the amount of HP that you lose based on using Risky Blow. Oh, did I mess up here? Let me see. Oh no, I can retrace them. Alright, let's do this. So we'll go ahead and take a look at her weapon abilities. But yeah, I mean, she's a monster. You know, she's not this powerful when she's with, you know, everybody else, obviously. but kind of fun. And I really do want to. I think I'm gonna end up doing a video on that and just do the whole thing solo because I think I can do it. But anyways, all right, yeah, let's take a look at her weapon abilities. All right, so potency increase, HP, physical defense, accuracy, magic defense. I would go accuracy, then magic defense, then physical defense, then the HP, then the potency last. And then you've got potency, HP, risky maneuver damage up, and then speed, and then magic defense by 2. I would go speed, magic defense, then the then the HP, then potency, then risky maneuver damage last. And I say that because, you know, potency is going to just increase the damage of all of your stuff, whereas this is only going to increase the damage of risky blow. And then last you've got another potency, then you've got desperate strike too. So this says increase physical damage dealt when your HP is at 25% or below. So that's where it gets really crazy, right? When you get really, really low, then she really starts getting, I mean, well, not starts getting dangerous, but she's extremely dangerous when she gets that low. And then Bloody Cross. I would go Bloody Cross first, and then probably the weapon damage too, then finish off with Desperate Strike too. This is just going to do, you know, this is going to be working all the time, again, as opposed to, you know, when you're at 25% health or below. And then Bloody Cross is just too good to wait on, right? It's just so, that's a very, very strong ability. I like the push as well because it can actually, you know, if you've been able to reduce the movement speed by using other things, just pushing the enemies back, especially the tankier, like the shield bearers and the pikemen, because they typically don't have that great of movement anyway. You know, so you combine that with some movement reduction. Maybe if there's ice on the ground, you can push them out and then not, you know, then they won't be able to hit you even on the following turn, and they'll just have to waste their turn trying to get back to you. So, again, very, very, very good ability. She's nuts. I mean, honestly, the and probably deservedly so because it takes so much work to actually get her. I'll be honest. There's times where I regret taking the other 3 choices, basically, or the other 3 routes. So I did the Benedict route first, then Benedict, then Frederica's route, then I went Roland's route, and then I did the Golden Path the Golden route for my final pass through the game. And you know, you miss out on Avlora and Milo, and God, they're just solid characters, especially Milo. You know, Avlora is amazing as well, but and if you can watch my Milo video and just you know, I go through exactly how good she is. And anyways, but you get both of them on that route. So anyways, that's going to be it for this one. As always, hope the guide was helpful, and thank you for watching.